Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Nathaniel, and I'm happy to be here with you today. My parents were quite creative, they could name 6 children with the letter N. So kudos to them on this. And kudos to them on having 6 children. I'm dying with two. So thankful to have Ping Ping and the team, NSCW team here. I'm very happy to be here to share about the journey of circularity in Decathlon. Okay. I will be just covering 3 simple topics. Why circular economy for a large retailer? What is our approach towards it so that you can know a little bit of insights about how we tackle what we call circular business? How do we build the bridges? Because we didn't do it alone. We have very strong partners who are helping us on this journey. And how do we really make the change internally in Decathlon with teammates like myself, but also with the people, our consumers and our stakeholders. This is a very complex graph, not because it's easy to read. Okay, it's very simple to read. You have the year, you have the quantity that Decathlon Singapore threw away, the number of sports products that we threw away, and that's very simple and very easy to read. What is really complex is how did we bring down the quantities that we threw away from 15,000 to 3,000 in just 3 years? That's the most difficult job I have done in my 10 years in Decathlon, because this required a real challenge. And I was very sad because the year that I joined in 2021, this circular business team, in fact, the very next year, we increased the quantities that we threw away. So at one point of time, I was like, am I in the right job? Am I doing the right thing? Is everything going well? And for the second reason I was very sad was because actually it takes 2 years to conceive and design the product until it's readily available in the shelf. So for me, it takes 1 second to throw away and 2 years for the product designers to build the products, conceive it, and downstream what we are doing is we're just simply throwing the products away. So this was a problem we had internally. Over 50,000 quantities from 2020 to 2022 thrown away. And can you guess how much that represented in dollar value? $700,000. Okay, money down the drain. As easy as that. So we said before we start to think about rental as a business, subscription as a business, leasing as a business, let's find a way to save this $700,000. So that's when I got the permission to hire my first teammate, and his job was to pay his own salary, which means with the total number of products that he saved, that value would be his salary. Okay? And this is how we managed to build circular economy step by step, brick by brick, because we don't want to build it just for the sake of decreasing waste, but we want to build it because it will sustain over a long period of time. And in order to do so, we need to do it in a financially viable manner. Circular economy was also a big need for us. Why? Because in 2019, there was a COVID boom. And what it did impact for Decathlon was that the long queues in our stores, can you guess where? It was at the workshop. Because in circuit breaker, no one could go out. And then we understood how many people didn't know how to repair their items. And so this was the longest queue. And we only had 3 of our 6 big experience stores with workshops. So the first thing we did was, let's make it easy and convenient for our customers. Let's expand our workshops to at least have it in all our experience stores. Customers were extremely frustrated at long queues. So in the queue, I was in the store. And at that point of time, I was a store leader, I remember, just coming into circular business. And the customers was telling me, give me the equipment, I will fix it myself. Give me the spanner, give me the pump, I will fix it myself. So we also saw new opportunities like willingness to do it by themselves. And so in my mind, it was like, hey, this sounds like a viable business model. There is a need, there is a problem. How can we tackle it? But even before that, I wanted to see what were the market opportunities out there. And for my colleagues in Europe, they started the circular business very, very, very early. Okay. Actually, since 1980 in Decathlon, we started something Trocathlon, which is a physical C2C marketplace. You would go down to a store, trade in your items and buy a new items. And we started this very early in 1980. But thanks to McKinsey and the market studies that has been done, actually we see that the market potential is huge, $30 to $50 billion in 2030, and a growing market compound annual growth rate of between 20 to 25%. It means customers are also moving along with this journey, and if we don't move, then there is a big chunk for us to miss out. We see that actually companies were also moving. Close to 75% of sporting good companies want to generate more than 5% of their business through circular sales. To reach 5% is a crazy difficult task. And to see so many people wanting to embrace this task reflected some points for me. And last but not least, coming to C2C, we'll share with you some figures because I asked myself, which is the biggest C2C company in Singapore? Anyone knows? Anybody knows? It's an app. It's in almost 75% of people's pockets. Carousell. Carousell is the app used by 75% of Singaporeans. They spend about 40 minutes per month on the app. So their monthly active user rate is very, very, very high. And they started this business of C2C 10 years ago. I think 12 years ago to be exact. So the numbers are huge opportunity. If I just look at the first line on Decathlon bicycles that are listed on Carousell, you would see that there are 11,000 items listed on Carousell. Me, as a Decathlon seller, only 1,400 listings, okay, in the year 2023. Huge opportunity, huge jump. People were searching very actively for secondhand Decathlon bicycles and bicycles. And if I look beyond just the Decathlon sporting goods market, it represents about $68 million worth of GMV. That's readily transacted in Carousell. Means the market is there for you to take. And so when I look at these 3 points of it being a need, of there being an opportunity and customers wanting to embrace it, I said, hey, let's accelerate this journey. And so the that we take in Decathlon is one that is very simple. First, we need to secure our capabilities to repair. Without reparation, there is nothing that we can do. And it's one of the most difficult journeys. This was my difficulty as I was sharing with you the graph, why I suffered from 2021 to 2022. I was trying to increase the capacity to repair, training, spare parts readily available, booking appointments for customers. And this takes time to build structure in the stores. It takes time to build. But where we can grow both financially, but also in saving CO2 because we avoid ordering new products is through our buyback business, our rental business, and of course, our recycling business. So this is the approach that we have taken. And we see that actually, this is the right approach to take. In repair in 2023, we repaired up to 15,000 quantities of sports products. We had 2 partners to do it, and we did it with a very strong CSAT, 4.6 out of 5, which is very, very, very difficult because the demand level for our service is much higher than for our product. For secondhand, where we save our products and re-inject them into our business, it put us globally at a very strong position that we save close to 8 out of 10 of every potential products that would end up in the bin. We have managed to re-inject it into our linears. Today, in 2023, we buy back about 2.5 bicycles a day. Today, the number is a lot more. And with Sports Singapore, we recycle close to 32,000 pairs of shoes to make into sports tracks. So with this, we reaffirm really that there is a belief that with an ecosystem, with putting into place the right processes, the opportunity is endless. But it was also very challenging. I send you this picture because Decathlon sells inflatable kayaks. And the price of this inflatable kayak is about $450. And so there were a lot of customers coming to me telling me, I cannot repair my kayak. What do I do? And when I did the ROI and I studied to repair kayaks, I would lose a lot more money. So I went to a partner far into us and I gave them the kayaks and I told them, can you please diagnose this for me? And can you tell me how much is the price to repair it? And you know what they said? It costs $300 only for the diagnostic. We don't have the infrastructure. We cannot do it scalably, and we cannot bring down the cost. My main problem. So what do I do with these kayaks? And that prompted me to discover new solutions. Yanni was here earlier. She was from Commoners, and we proposed a problem to them to say, we have all these kayaks, we cannot repair them, find us a solution. And working with Yanni and a startup, she managed to change these kayaks into upcycled bags and upcycled materials, which we can sell. But the way we did it was very interesting because I believe that in Decathlon, we should be very, very humble, which means things which we cannot fix, we always leave the expertise to the partners to try and find some problems. And it will be really, really bad if we internalize the full process of it and try to make something of it. So here are some great partners that we work with, but building a circular economy also means having added value services, for example, with Bike Hero to fix bicycles at customers' house. Finally, when I saw Carousell figures, I said, I'm going to work with you. So there is a button on Carousell to say, please sell back your Decathlon bikes to Decathlon. And we are also selling secondhand products on the Carousell page. With Commoners, I shared with you the topic from kayaks to upcycle bags. And Oleg is creating the right omni experience, the digital solutions to make circular economy very seamless. And this was really important for customers first to embrace and adopt the circular business model. But after doing all that, how do we make the change? And this was really, really important because everyone in the company in Decathlon has sustainable development matrix as part of their monthly bonus matrix. We cannot make the change outwards without making the change inwards. And so even the CEOs have a target on absolute CO2 reduction, and they are incentivized on that. So before any of my teammates, which is 80,000 of them in the retail floor globally, think about throwing away a product, they will think twice because they will say, let me save it, let me re-inject it into my circular linear meters, and let me reap the rewards in this business. Maybe you can just lower the volume. We piloted a fantastic event last year because as a parent myself, I don't want to just declutter my kids' bicycles or my kids' clothes. I want to declutter furniture. I want to declutter clothes. I want to declutter a lot of things. And what we said is we wanted to be a one-stop solution for everybody to declutter. So that's where we had an event, kids doing sports, people reselling back their clothes, Land Transport Authority of Singapore teaching kids how to ride safely on their bicycles. And of course, our buyback event to buy back products to resell them all in one space. And this was absolutely fantastic because it brought the ecosystem together. It provided a one-stop solution for parents and customers. And this was how we involve customers into our singularity, which is to allow more people to do sport. This was what we did. Okay, my last slide is what is the impact, the true impact of our customers. And what we see here is that behaviors are slowly starting to shift. There is great incremental value from the circular business, 2.3 times CLV. Why? Because for a customer who is already part of the circular business, there is an automatic uplift of 25% in their linear basket. I buy a second-hand bike, of course, I will buy a First Life helmet for my kid. There is this uplift. Circularity in Europe attracts a lot of younger people. The difference between our normal customer and our everyday rental customer is between 8 to 9 years. And that's fantastic because it will sustain the future of our customers in Decathlon. We see that the customer comes back twice as often and buys 2.3 times more because they're involved in the circular business. And we see that 40% of the total circular visits from existing Decathlon customers, they are substituted. So now people choose to prefer circular business or secondhand products versus linear products. Okay. So I hope I've convinced you to start, to try, to fail, to grow, and to convince you that even if Decathlon is a big company, the capacity to react, to change, and to make a difference by just saving our waste and re-injecting them into circular business can do a lot more for the planet, but also for customers in our business. Thanks a lot.